Steve Hanke once said, sanctions historically are quite counterproductive in the sense that if you impose sanction on your enemy, it tends to strengthen your enemy. Keep this in mind as I discuss today with you the lifting of sanctions on Russia regarding this Nord Stream 2 pipeline. My name is Dr. David Oualaalou, and welcome to Geopolitics in Conflict. Before I start, I would like to express my sincere thanks for your comments and your support. I also wanted to thank our new Patreon members. Thank you for joining us. And for you, if you like our videos and you like to support us, consider joining membership on a Patreon. Once again, thank you for your support. Today, what I wanted to talk to you briefly, and by the way, my co-host, Dr. Stewart, is on assignment, so he will not be joining me today. What I wanted to talk to you today about is the lifting of sanctions on Nord Stream 2 pipeline, the company that is in charge of that project. And why is that important for you to know? Well, this one has geopolitical dimensions to it. It has economic, of course. That goes hand in hand. As we always say, geopolitics and economics, they go together. You can't separate one from the other, and one of them will impact the other and vice versa. So the important things to understand here is that while the previous US administration imposed sanctions on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, it did not want that project to move forward. The Biden administration, as of about 2 weeks ago or so, lifted the sanctions on the company that is dealing with that project. The sanctions stayed on other companies were involved, but not the Russian company that is specifically tasked with this Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Well, what's interesting about all this is that as of about 3 days ago, the Russian President Vladimir Putin announced that indeed the project has been completed. Because remember, when the sanctions were imposed, the project was already about 90 to 92% or 95% completed. So it just didn't make any sense whatsoever for the Russian company to stop the project, especially after $11 billion investments. Even the Germans themselves were pushing against the United States for this action, to the point that the United States threatened to sanction Germany, an ally for that matter. And it tells you right there how much sanctions becomes a tool that we use loosely whenever we feel like it. But here is what's interesting about why I wanted to talk to you about this topic as it pertains to the sanctions. Nord Stream 2, as you may know, will bring natural gas from Russia, northern Russia, all the way to Germany, bypassing Ukraine, which means Ukraine will not get the fees for the transit, which will be bad for their economy. But the key to all this is that Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, just announced, as a matter of fact, 2 days ago, during the St. Petersburg equivalency of the Economic Forum, that's usually in Switzerland. They had one in St. Petersburg recently. And he announced that Russia will be willing to accept payments in the euro. Why is that important, you may ask? It's an indication that Russia is already shedding the dollars away and considering other currency by which to accept payments. Is the US dollar in trouble here? My answer is yes. We did a video on this a couple months ago in which we indicated that Russia and China will start dumping the US dollar as we move forward. And they did. In my opinion, the reason for why Vladimir Putin announcing this, that's a signal to not only Germany, but the Europeans, whoever is interested in Russian gas, that they will be willing to accept those payments. Could it be that the United States realized that imposing sanctions is counterproductive, as we said in the quote? I think so. And Russia realized that it makes perfect sense for the Europeans to get the Russian gas rather than the United States. Logistically speaking, it makes perfect sense. It makes common sense, that is. Russia is closer to Europe than the United States is. But could this also indicate that the Europeans are thinking of reconsidering their currency by which they can conduct business with whomever they want? There is a possibility to that. Because once again, if Russia is willing to accept payments in the euros, the European countries or the EU for that matter, the central bank there will consider their own digital currency that will be separated from the SWIFT system altogether. Because once the Europeans will make the payments to Russia in the euro, that will bypass the SWIFT system. Which means what? And a simple answer is rendering the US dollar, I won't say useless, but it will be weak in that matter. So which means the United States sanctions will be irrelevant. And this is nothing but the beginning for much more changes in the financial markets that's coming down the pipe, especially with China now testing the global system to see how well its digital currency will be received. There are already countries, one country in Latin America already decided to consider not using the dollar at all. But for China, given its global trade, for Russia, given the sheer size of the energy, especially in the oil sector, they will consider, if they can get away from the SWIFT system altogether, that's to their benefit. Because what Russia and China in this case are realizing is they don't want to be under the strangulation of the US financial system anymore. And once again, if Russia is indicating to Europe that they will be willing to accept payment in the European, that's a subtle message of saying, we don't have to have the US dollar if you choose not to. And this is where I believe personally that Europeans will be moving into that direction. As a matter of fact, other countries as well. And that in return will weaken the US dollar on the global market. Don't get me wrong, the US dollar still the global currency, still strong on the global market, but you can just see the beginning of its end is starting already. So this is going to take time. Of course, this doesn't happen overnight. When Russian President Vladimir Putin mentioned about the payments in euro, that doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. There are a lot of behind-the-scenes work that has to take place as far as the system, the financial system that is. Then you have to have the approval of the European Central Bank. Then you have to have the European Parliament agreeing to that. And this is where politics gets behind the scenes for the competition over ideas as to whether we will accept that or not. But the bottom line is Russia, as we mentioned in our previous video, that it started to dump the US dollar, so is China, and they are moving into that direction with this. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about, just to indicate or let you know where the market is going, especially in the energy sector. As the changes coming up with the upcoming G7 and G20 summits, which, by the way, the G7 meeting taking place in London has already indicated about that they decided to impose standard tax on corporations, about 15%. Well, that's going to remain to be seen, because you get multi-corporations here in the United States are not even paying taxes. Jeff Bezos, the likes of Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, George Soros, even Michael Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York, some of them didn't even pay taxes for last year. Is the system the way it is? So the bottom line to this is the lifting of sanctions on the Nord Stream 2 was a political decision. It has nothing to do with economics. It's because that was one of the reasons why the administration, the Biden administration, wanted to pave the way for the summit with the Russian president, which, by the way, is going to be taking place on June 16th in Switzerland. It will be interesting to see what they're going to be talking about, and we're going to do a video about this later on. So I hope you find this information useful. And as always, we want you to let us know your thoughts and in the comment section, and also hit that like button, because that's how algorithms work. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And also be sure to check out our other videos, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. And as always, stay informed. Till next time. Bye-bye.